Whoop whoop, motherfuckers. Cali Green, too motherfucking fresh here. I'm currently in the tunnels with my boy Politicize. Say what's up, man.
Going on, Cal?
Yeah, just chilling here in fucking California. It's actually the one day out of, the year where it's cold. It comes every once in a blue moon. I'm actually outside wearing like a coat and not just like, short sleeves. It was raining. But anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about. Today we are here to talk about you and your movement that you currently got going on. So for those motherfuckers out there who don't already know Politicize, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm 5'9", 147. I enjoy long walks on the beach with dead bodies around me. And, no. What's going on, motherfuckers? I used to go by the name Political Assassin. Me and Callie, we go a long, long ways. From the Forever 420 mixtapes, from the Stoner Power times. So we've really been on this music tip together for a long time. My brother's been supporting me for quite a while. Right now, my name is Politicize, and the last thing I put out was Codename Assassin.
Hell yeah, and we have gone a long way back. I mean, you were one of the first artists that I ever promoted, in the underground. Actually, the very first motherfucker to hit me up, and it was at a time when you just got started.
Yeah, it was real fresh, man. Really fresh at the time, like just at the beginning.
Hell yeah. So, going from Political Assassin to Politicize, why don't you tell us a little bit about that change?
That change happened, I'd say about like a year ago now. And I went from going under Political Assassin, which was a great name. I always felt it was a dope name. But that was kind of the beginning. I was not sure how to put everything out, which direction I wanted to go in. I was working a lot with a lot of the Philly rappers here, trying to get into a scene here. And unfortunately, they're very strict on what they like. So, I wasn't catching the people I did. And once I started changing my stuff around and went by the name Politicize, it seems like a lot of doors opened up. And apart from that, a lot of my skill level went up. After 3 years as Political Assassin, I learned a lot about the music itself. I learned a lot about myself as an artist as to, not only how to write, but stop and break at points, how to shift my pitch in my voice, how to do a lot of things that I wasn't aware of back then. And through all the mistakes I made and, trials and tribulations of going through it, under Politicize, it just became a better day. I had to learn a lot about music. It's not just about you putting out whatever you want, whenever you want. Rather, put out the best material you can and make sure that people are going to feel it.
Oh, hell yeah. Like we've said, I've followed you since the motherfucking heydays, and I gotta say, you've come way, 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 way far from where you first started. I mean, you put out, 2 mixtapes, and actually, technically, it would have been like 3 mixtapes under the name Politicize, or Political Assassin, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Along with, you did In the Streets, the mixtapes that they had going on as well.
Yeah, I constantly was trying to plug myself with the We Run the Streets mixtapes, and
there we go. That's
a lot of material under Political Assassin. And what's crazy is that one mixtape under Politicize did better than all of that stuff combined. So that's what I was saying about just getting to learn a lot more about the music itself, and not just sitting there like I'm gonna put it out, buy this, that. No, it's about making people, feel your music, listen to it. The love that you get, that people, listen to it and tell you positive things is inspiring. It's more inspiring than any dollar amount for any artist coming up. Just to get your name out there in the right way, that's how you build your foundation, and that's where I started as with this one.
Well, hell yeah. I know also under Political Assassin, if I'm not mistaken, you were in the mix of talking to some people about possibly getting signed to like a major for a second there, for like a split sec there right before you changed up to Politicize.
Yeah, it was an eye-opening experience getting to. I had a contact of a family friend that had contacts with Def Jam, so I went up there and I really thought I had something that could be cooking, but the first thing that I heard when I went to the offices at Def Jam, it's on the 26th floor of this building, and it was kind of like, wow, you just ascended to heaven, kind of, But as soon as you get in the door talking to the A&R, you find out you're more in hell than anything else. You know what I mean? Dude was telling, first question he asked me, he's like, how's your Twitter? How's my Twitter? What the fuck do you care about my Twitter, dog? Seriously?
Oh,
you got
shit.
This cat trying to tell you he runs hip-hop, and he's wearing a fucking, what did he have? He had a little skinny Bon Jovi t-shirt, his nipples were hanging out, telling me what hip-hop's about, so it's kind of like, dude, lesson learned, man.
Yeah, definitely an eye-opening experience. You've gotten a lot of love, in the underground, with the most recent mixtape you put out last year titled Codename Assassin. Tell us about that.
Codename Assassin was so much fun. It's hard to describe. All the stuff that I seem to put out now, it seems to always come out when I'm recording and putting it out. There's always some fucked up shit happening in life, my own personal life, and it seems to inspire the music to get better and better. So maybe I should be an angry fuck, because it seems to help sometimes. But Codename Assassin was a pretty short mixtape. It wasn't an album of any sorts. It was just 9 straight tracks with 2 original beats. One of the beats was with Jason Porter, and it was called Darkness Falls. And I know you guys had that as the first track on your CarnivalSpirits mixtape recently.
We did, and it was the perfect opener, I gotta say. It really set the tone for the entire mixtape.
Thank you, brother. It was a lot of fun working with Jason Porter, and then, I working with Mars as well. But working with Porter was a little more personal, because after I started working with him on that track, we kind of grew into a closer relationship where, for him to tell me specifically, dude, I believe in your project, that was a solid mixtape. To me, that was that felt like, and, it's like if Shaggy or Vinyl J came up to you, or Esham came up to you and said, dude, your material's dope. It sets a level of this feeling that's like, wow, I can't believe you would say that about me. Who am I? To be honest, that's how I felt. And all the tracks on there, a lot of them had some good meanings. Hip-hop was literally taking a stab at the industry. Celebutard Killer, I just went after all these fucking celebrities that are only, why the fuck are they even famous? I put a lot of personal experiences in there, and it's just, every song had something to it. It was never just someone rapping to it, and that's the difference between Political Assassin and Politicize. With Political Assassin, I did have some good tracks that had meaning, but at the same time, I felt like, man, I'm just rapping on a beat with this. And whereas now, I feel like I'm making songs, even if those beats are covers. So that's the process that it went through, and it did really well, and I was really happy for all the input I got from people, all the feedback and all the positivity. It was just wonderful. It made my day every day.
Well, hell yeah. I mean, let's go into talking about Jason Porter a little bit. You did have the song Darkness Falls with him and Mars, but like you said, you've kind of established, a stronger bond. And, there's a lot of cats out there that don't know who Jason Porter is, so for those motherfuckers who don't know Jason Porter, do your fucking research. You call yourself a fucking juggalo. You should know about the motherfucking Tunnel Runners album, featuring motherfuckers like Mars and Jason Porter and fucking Low Key. Fucking know about it. He's...
Exactly. How you don't know about Jason Porter and call yourself a part of the wicked shit underground scene here is beyond me. I mean, if you don't know about him, then I guess you don't know who Bedlam is minus Prozac, or who L.U. Cypher was, or cats that we all grew up with that got us into this. So,
hey, come on, welcome.
Fuckers know your history. Cali has just established that.
So, you're actually working on a mixtape project that he's going to be fully producing, titled Grimy.
Yes. It's going to be a full mixtape with about 15 tracks, and then it's like an actual mixtape where, in between tracks there's going to be, tracks in between the actual songs. So it's like the full mixtape that it gets you through this whole journey of grimy, nasty, dirty shit that we all see in life, but we kind of, ignore, because if we think about it too much, we're going to have to fucking kill somebody or ourselves, one or the other. So, so the mixtape is going to be a full full-length mixtape, and it's hosted by Jason Porter. No hosting by some bitch-ass DJ Drama or DJ Clue or DJ Khaled or any of those fruitcakes. This is hosted by yours truly, a sick motherfucker who's established his name in the underground for years and years. You know what I mean?
Well, hell yeah, and, you know, perfect motherfucker to produce an album with the title Grimy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's that's the thing, like, it works so well around his own persona that it's, you know, it's not too far off from any of who we are. Jason Porter is grimy as fuck, and most of the stuff I talk about is grimy shit. I mean, it's, you know, I talk mostly about negative things that happen to us, whether they be political issues, social issues, and they're grimy as shit, because we all feel it from a day-to-day basis. We all feel the fucking pinch, you know? So it works so well with the mixtape concept. So every track is a concept within itself. Every feature, it works around the concept. So none of these songs are just like a track on a mixtape. Each song has its own original flavor, if I can say.
Well, hell yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, he's actually going to be jumping on the title track, you know, Grimy, along with Doc Hollywood Hustle.
Yes, sir. I recorded my part last week. We got Doc's verse on there. We got Jason's verse on there. And that's the opening track. That's like the anthem of the mixtape, is That's Grimy. And hopefully we should be going to Detroit. Doc should be coming to Philly when we're all going to meet up, me, Doc, and Porter in Detroit, to put down the video, the official video for the mixtape, which will be That's Grimy. And, you know, it's going to be shot in 2 grimy locations. City of Philly, the city of the Murder Mitten. So, doesn't get more grimy than that.
So you're actually going to be going out to Detroit, and Porter's going to be meeting you there as well, is what you're saying.
Right. From what I understand, Doc is going to come down here to Philly to do his part, and then we're going to take a road trip up to Detroit for me to do my verse there. And also meet up with Jason Porter. And, you know, Detroit's got so many grimy spots. I mean, it's just like a wonderful urban exploration tale in itself. You know, a million spots to film there.
Oh, definitely. I mean, like, Detroit is one of those just, like, meccas of grimy, along with, you know, like, Philly and fucking, what is it, Gary, Indiana.
Yeah. It's just like, it's just crazy. Like, if you take a picture back of like 40 years ago, I bet those places weren't like that, but it's a whole new story now. So, you know.
Oh, Gary's always been just a grimy fucking place. It's nothing
but... It never changed, huh?
Yeah, it's never changed. It's always been just factories and bars. I know my grandma, she got lost there once. She was driving at night and kind of dozed off the wheel, came to and realized, like, where the fuck am I? And there's just, like, a bunch of crackheads, like, walking down the street, some hookers and shit, and someone, like, started approaching her car or something. She flipped a fucking bitch and found her way back to the highway immediately. Did not stop for any of the stoplights, she says. Got the fuck out of there.
Damn. That's like an episode of, what's that, Twilight Zone or something, Stuck in Griminess. Right?
That she said that she thought that she had driven right into Escape from New York.
Wow.
That's her.
Now, next location, film location, Gary, Indiana.
There we go. Home of Michael Jackson, by the way.
Doesn't get any more grimy than that. Better keep your boys away, that's all I gotta say.
Right. So in addition to this fresh fucking mixtape with Jason Porter, you're also part of a new supergroup out of Philly titled Dogs of God. You guys just released your first official single, Kamikaze. Tell us about
that. Dogs of God is like, it's a project with Equitas, A. Wake, Rhino, Deranged, and Demonic. Those are the core members of the group, including myself. And Dogs of God is a lot like Army of the Pharaohs, Jedi Mind Tricks, where, you know, a lot of the beats they use loop like classical music and things of that nature to make these fresh type of beats that are very reminiscent of, like, you know, maybe Gangstar. Because Gangstar was really the first guy on the East Coast that, I think anywhere, that used those samples and looped them and created that feel. So that's really the kind of project it is, and we're spitting just like there's no redemption in these tracks. There's no we're nice people. There's nothing to make you feel good. These tracks are solid, in your face, I'm gonna fuck you up type shit, and they create that vibe just like Army of the Pharaohs does.
Well, hell yeah, that's fucking dope. I can't wait to hear more of that project.
It's a great project. I hooked up with now a good friend of mine, Equitas, who is local around me. We're very close in vicinity to each other, and I linked up with him actually. Sending him a link to the mixtape for Codename Assassin, and ever since then, we have so much in common. He also likes MMA, boxing, so we spar, we do that stuff, we do music. We're just very similar in our. We both like history and politics, and we're, just those type of people. And the group in itself consists of these amazing artists. Every guy on there is putting his best into it. I forgot to talk about Rhino is also a member of the group. He's a new member. He's great. Check him out. His music is just, one of my friends called it acid rap. So if that doesn't pique your interest, I don't know what will. But it's a great project, and we're actually going to have a show on this weekend. ADOT is having a release party for his album, and people will officially be able to hear Kamikaze live, and it should be fun.
Well, hell yeah. So let's talk a little bit about shows. You recently had driven up to Canada, to Ontario, to do a show with Twisted a few months back. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that experience? I'm sure that had to be fresh, growing up listening to wicked shit, fucking ICP, Twisted, Esham. I mean, it had to be fresh to get to meet those guys and perform, opening for them. That had to be fresh.
It was one of the best experiences of my life, coming down to Canada. Every time I come down to Canada, it's always a positive experience. From maybe even a year before I went down there to open for Twisted, just going down there and having just going through the wilderness a little bit and having a road trip up there. Love Canada. It was really fun. So when I got there, we went to the venue, and the venue was great. And it was crazy, though, because right across from the venue was like a meth clinic. So I knew I was in the right place somehow. But the Twisted show, we had Kung Fu Vampire. Man, they came all the way from California and drove. They drove from fucking Cali just to be at that show. That doesn't show dedication, I don't know what does. But had them, had Adlib, who's also an artist who's real closely, well, he is Baxfor, Nat Child and all them small members. So he came up there, and that was the first time I met him, and then I've seen him recently more often here, because a lot of the members of Dogs of God are affiliated with Baxfor or are in Baxfor. So apart from that, my best experience was just actually outside the venue, having a cigarette. And I'm just sitting there talking to some juggalos, and out of the blue, someone yells, "Hey, motherfuckers, what you smoking on?" And I look over, and I'm just like, like a deer in headlights, just looking like, oh shit, that's monoxide and Madrox. And they're just looking over at us, like laughing. And so I go up to talk to them. I'm like, oh man, this is crazy seeing you guys. Like I said, I grew up listening to you. Most Tasteless OG Edition was my first CD from Twisted. I had not been into the House of Crazies at that point, but that's something I researched afterwards. But it was just crazy because these guys were so down to earth. They seemed so excited about what they're doing. And it was just this positive, feeling that you got coming off of them. And I gave them, the single for Darkness Falls. I caught a picture with them, and it was just, it's one of those experiences that you never forget. And what I like most about it is that, I sent the promoter the mixtape, and I just said, if you like what you hear, let me know if I can open. It would be an honor to open for Twisted, and it would be a wonderful experience. And the guy hit me back, and he said, yeah, you should come. So that kind of just showed me that, what I'm doing is Politicize must be working better than what I did as Assassin, Just a fucking amazing show, man. Canadian Juggalos were so welcoming and open, and it was one of the best experiences of my life, man. I really hope I can do that again.
Well, hell yeah. I hope to see you one day perform, actually. We go way back. I remember you were supposed to play at the Gathering a few years back. And we were going to road trip that shit, and, you know, it just kind of fell through on both of our ends.
Yeah, the gathering would have been a great experience. It's just that I didn't have any information, you know. I didn't get the information about where the show was, what the set time was, and it was kind of like, you know, I don't want to just bounce myself there like on a, you know, without having the info. But, you know, if it happens again and I get the right information, then we'll all be down there, man. Because I honestly have not been to a single gathering yet. And I know that sounds pretty stale, but...
Hey, I've only been to one, so it's all good.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of hard, you know, to just drop all your shit and, you know, pack up. Not just to go for, you know, you're going to be gone for a week and a few days if you're going to the gathering, if you're driving. You know what I mean?
Oh, so. Yeah, there's so much to do. There's no way in hell you're just going to drive up there and go back in like 2 days, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And then not only that, but, you know, you go there feeling rich as fuck and you leave, like, you know, missing your fucking shoes and your wallet and half a tank of gas and, oh, man.
End up in a tent with a couple fat hoes. Don't even know how that happened. Like,
yeah, right. Right.
Oh, man.
It's about how it goes at the gathering. I remember we hitchhiked when we went. You know, and that was 2009.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was 2009, the 9th annual. I was actually getting ready to move back to California. I was in my hometown, Evansville, Indiana, and my grandma said that if we got the ticket, she'd be willing to drive us. And so, out of the blue, the night before, you know, the gathering, we pawned a bunch of fucking shit. You know, we were getting ready to move. We're like, fuck it. What are we going to do with all this shit? Sell the fucking Sega CD, which I kind of wish I didn't do. But anyways, you know, just pawned a bunch of shit, got our tickets, and my grandma was like, well, I'm not going to drive you guys all the way. We're like, what the fuck? And she was like, I'll drive you guys to the state border. So she dropped us off, you know, right over the bridge, right in fucking Illinois. I was like, all right, I guess I'll see you guys later. I hope you can find a ride home.
Damn.
Yeah, and we're like, all right, fuck it. You know, my grandma's old school, you know, old school hippie status. So
that was nice of her to get you guys that far, you know.
Yeah, you know, it was nice enough for her to get us that far and then take care of my, you know, our son for a week. So, but she dropped us off literally at like, I want to say midnight, sometime around like midnight, and there was nothing but cornfields fucking surrounding us. I mean, it was ridiculous. We got very lucky, and the Rude Boy picked us up, actually, and drove us to the gathering that year. And he had Lil Rudy in the back, and fucking, I can't remember who was driving. But he had one of the wrestlers with him driving. It was mad fresh, you know. Crazy experience.
It's been hella random, right? Just like, Rude Boy comes out and just picks you all up. Like, damn, that's dope.
They drove past us, and then we saw them flip a U-turn and come speeding back alongside us. And I was holding up like this Hatchet Man like window decal that I had from when I worked at Hot Topic. You know, it was a big fucking Hatchet Man thing. And I'm holding that up, like, hoping that some juggalo will see us. And they fucking sped past us. And we're like, what the fuck is up with these backwoods fucking hicks? You know what I mean? And they drive up the street a little bit, flip back around, roll up, and are like, hey, where are you guys going? And we're like, well, trying to get to Cave and Rock, Illinois. And they're like, oh, yeah? Something going on out there? I was like, yeah, gathering of the Juggalos. I didn't know who the fuck the driver was. He was one of the wrestlers. And, you know, they're like, oh, hop on in. I think we're going that way. So we hop in the car and sitting right there in the passenger seat, the fucking Rude Boy. Like, you know, just jaw-dropping experience.
Oh, damn, that's pretty much probably like when I saw that Twisted just walk by me that day.
Yeah, exactly. It's that same fucking,
Yeah, like, that was not expected right there. God damn.
So, on the subject of, you know, juggalos and all that, I'm going to go ahead and ask, when was the first time you ever actually heard Insane Clown Posse?
Whew. That's a good question, because just yesterday I was looking through all the stuff that I have from them that I still kept, like, all the secret stash of my psychopathic stuff. But I started out listening to them probably during the end of the Malenko era. And I heard them, and my boy was big into them, so I think he started off during Ringmaster, which is interesting because, he's from this area. So it's interesting to me how he even got to begin from the Ringmaster era, But I listened to it, and it was just like a classic. It was just one of the best CDs I ever bought in my life. And from then on, I just went to the back catalog, started getting all the old stuff, researched and found out about Isham, and again, then started getting into his stuff and his back catalog. And just fresh, man. That was one of the, best times, I think, to get into ICP as far as juggalos go. Like, now it seems very old, but to get into that era. But like I said, I know there's cats that got into it way before that,
Hell yeah. And with this being said, when was your first actual, juggalo experience? Because there's a big difference, in the 90s, being a juggalo, hanging out with your homies, and then actually taking that next step and going to, an event, a concert, and being there with the family. It's a huge step up, totally fucking different. When was the first time you actually went to a juggalo event?
Man, first juggalo show has to be the Juggalo Funhouse Super Show. That was just freaking insane. It was awesome. Seeing them live, like you said, is a totally different experience. And I think it's totally different from seeing them, today as well. I mean, you got to see them at that time when Malenko came out. I even remember their website. Like, it was like a 90s website, Callie. It was like, I mean, you probably know too, but it wasn't like a freshly, like, prepared website with all this shit. Like, this was when they were really, like, growing into themselves, and seeing them at the show, it was a true underground experience, And not to say that they aren't that now, but I think that experience is very different from somebody getting into them at this point, Back then, we didn't have shit in Hot Topic or Spencer's or anything. There was no ICP merchandise unless you got it online or at a show. That's where all the good stuff was at. You had to go to the show to grab their stuff. But that first show, the Juggalo Funhouse Super Show, man, it was a great show. I don't even remember who opened. I don't even think I cared because I was, strictly there for ICP.
Hell yeah. And I do remember the old school days, before Hatchet Gear. Whenever they had their little fucking shady section on the website, and the old school fucking Amazing Jekyll Brothers fucking style webpage where it was hard to read the fucking posts and shit because it had all the fire in the background and shit. I remember those days. Damn. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Like, that old school shit.
Yeah,
like,
hell yeah.
You go and try to read their fucking, like, news post and you can't even see shit because all the background was, like, these fucking flames. Primitive shit. Primitive days. They had...
It was.
They didn't even have the Hatchet Man charms yet, or any of that,
No, they didn't. Like we were saying before, that's before I think people start saying whoop whoop and all that too.
Yeah, I think we were just talking briefly about that in the CarnivalSpirits hangout yesterday, where the times before that type of shit, before the whoop whooping, and when all that was actually coming to full circle with Dark Lotus, and it's crazy how much the fucking family aspect and just juggalos in a whole have evolved.
Yeah, it grew a lot. I mean, back then the hottest thing you could get was that shockumentary
Yep.
set,
And it came with one of the random fucking Joker's cards, up until that point.
Mhm. Mhm. Those were some of the greatest videos too. I don't remember if I have the tape, but it had what videos did it have? It had Hocus Pocus. It had the remix version. It had the regular version. It had How Many Times. It was just freaking dope, man. That really made you feel like it was something special, like you were part of something so different from everything else,
Hell yeah, the fucking chicken hunting, and you had their little interview shit where Violent J's talking about slice a little bit off the cheese and all that.
Yeah, and Shaggy's like, yeah, I had so many shoes up my ass, I got endorsed by Converse or something like that.
Fuck yeah.
My ass kicked so much I had Reebok.
Hell yeah, that was the freshest thing back then. And then seeing Vinny the ICP kid with the fucking stash of shirts that just no one even knew existed, up until that point.
Oh, man.
They had their merch game on. I
always want to go rob them.
Yeah, right? They had their merch game on way before Hatchet Gear. Not a lot of people realize that, but, they had mad merch since way back the heydays.
They had more exclusive stuff back then, that's what I loved about it. I'm sure you could find that stuff now, but some of that stuff that was there then is considered rare now,
Oh, definitely. Most juggalos have held on to that shit and just aren't going to let go, even if they, quote unquote, have dropped the hatchet. You still got those pieces, those treasures that you hold on to. I remember, I remember Vinny the ICP kid, Fago Lovers did an interview with him a couple years back, and he had mentioned that he was fortunate enough to have never lost a single piece of merch over all these years. He still has everything he's ever had ICP.
Wow. And that's not a strange concept, man, because just the other day I was pulling out one of the other freshest shows I went to was the Amazing Jekyll Brothers tour.
Fuck yeah.
And before that tour started up, I remember they were here in Philly. They were in a mall downtown called the Gallery, and I was in high school back then. So they had Jay and Shaggy come out in straitjackets and those little metal carriers like Hannibal Lecter. And I remember Blaze was there without his makeup. This was pre-Blaze makeup and everything, before the dead man arose. This was when he was just with Psychopathic putting his work in. And we just saw these guys come from, the front of the door at the mall and pass us all in line. And it's just damn, dude. We're waiting there, and then we finally get in, and we get the autographs from them. And Twisted is in the background, and behind these glass, this glass case, just looking at you funny, and just being odd as fuck. And I came up, and I got autographs from Jay and Shaggy, and Shaggy misspelled my name, and you can still see it on there. It's Farid. He put Farie. And it was just, I still have that. That's a piece of history that no matter what happens, dude. That ain't going nowhere. That's sticking with me until I'm old and fucking dead. That's something you don't forget,
Hell fucking yeah. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, but, is there anything you'd like to say in closing?
I'd just like to say thank you to each and every single person that downloaded Codename Assassin. It means the world to me. This music is nothing without the people who listen to it, regardless of whether you're on the bottom of the scale or you're totally on the top of the scale. Every artist should always remember that it's not your ego. It's about the people listening and giving you the gratitude. Be happy, feel blessed for what you're doing, and just make your music better and better. This next mixtape, Grimy, it's going to be coming out soon. Should be coming out during the summer. It's got Jason Porter. It's got Doc Hollywood Hustle. We got Hush from Detroit, Spice One. We got Gilly the Kid. Got Equitas, Black Waltz, Justin Sane, Haunted. So it's just going to be a really good project. And, everybody keep out for it. We're going to have that video for Grimy. And like I said, man, the positive feedback I get, that's what makes me want to keep doing this. Because in our daily lives, we have, as juggalos and underground artists, it's not easy. We go through a lot of BS, but this is my most open invitation for everybody to get to know who I am. And I'd like to thank you, Callie, for giving me the interview. Thank CarnivalSpirits, because like I said, man, we've gone so far back, man, and it's a blessing that we're both here doing what we love.
Well, hell yeah. You guys can check out Politicize at politicizerise.com. Download that fucking Codename Assassin mixtape. It's fresh. I know a lot of you motherfuckers out there listening right now have already checked out, the Ninjas in Action mixtape, which is featuring the song Darkness Falls. that was originally on, Codename Assassin. But be on the lookout for more fucking music in the works from Politicize. Got that Grimy, you got that Dogs of God, and if I'm not mistaken, you're going to be part of, Ninjas in Action Volume 2 as well, which, we're in the talks of working out some freshness for that.
Yes, sir. I'll try to drop some exclusives, try to drop some shout-outs for CarnivalSpirits, and everybody just stay tuned, man. There's a lot of good music coming up, and it's grimy. That's grimy, because it's going to be grimy as fuck. So when you pop that in, you're going to be like, God damn, dude, now I know man, he knows how I feel. This is some shit we're going through.
Oh, yeah. You already know I'm pumped for that. I mean, I've been following you since the heydays. I still bump fucking Drinking on the Limca. That's still to this day, motherfucker, I bumped that shit.
Man.
I was actually
remixing that sometime, man.
I was thinking about it. I was thinking about the remix of that, Me and
gotta get some drunk motherfuckers and some high motherfuckers on that one.
Me and Stanky were talking about it, so we were talking about covering it. No lie there.
Stanky in the beginning.
Hell yeah. But alright. I'm Cali Green Too Fresh. You guys have tuned in to In the Tunnels with Politicize. Make sure you check out the website, CarnivalSpirits.com. We got a lot of freshness over there. We got some contests going on. For those of you who don't know, check the page, check the contest. There's a picture there. You go to the top of our fucking links. It'll say contest. Click on that. There will be a picture. Take that picture and share it on either Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram with the hashtag Ninjas in Action for your chance to win a copy of Insane Clown Posse's latest album, The Marvelous Missing Link Lost. So we got that coming up. Winner will be announced on April 2nd. So stay tuned, motherfuckers, because we got a lot more shit in store for y'all. It's just the beginning. It's the dawning of a new era, motherfuckers. So, hell yeah, I'm Cali Green Too Fresh. Always keep it wicked motherfucking fresh. We out.